Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the current trend. Actually, it's not the current, it's the form of the way things are being done from way back in 2021 and how where we have reached and where we are going. So, basically, on my screen, you'll see three things. Basically, they are grouped into categories because in IT, in 2021 and before AI went to become agents and so on, you would go to a developer, an IT person, and they say you need an app, you need a website, you need something, and it's something like how you would go to any other field and you tell like structural engineer or an architect that you need a house ABCD. So an architect asks you ABCD, what do you want? And then he shows you the models in 3D of the houses, or the architects, the drawings that he has done for you. When you appreciate the house, then it goes to the next stage for structural engineering to discover what is required. So, but in IT, how you would go there, I would ask you, what do you want? How do you want to do this? How do ABCD? And it's a lot of stuff. But when AI came, then and agents, so many things are now below to many people. Actually, everyone can ask Google, Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude on anything about what he needs his app or website to do, what he does, and how he would like his. He can even explain how he's doing things and how he would like them to improve, or what he would appreciate them to be. So at this stage, that's where we are in 2026. And me, I want to shorten this video is the best tools that any person who never went to IT can use now and efficiently to build like website and app or something is the current is Lovable. Lovable is the best currently in the world when it comes to just web apps, TypeScript and this okay, basically apps and websites. Lovable, there are thousands of it. Wix, Replit, something, Vercel, v0.vercel something, but there are many, you cannot finish them. But I always like to pull up which have been globally recognized as they have reached a production stage. So Lovable when it comes to web app, and then Google AI Studio when it comes to building Android apps. Android apps for native Android apps, maybe Flutter and using Kotlin and so on. Google AI Studio is still right now in a beta stage. So what am I saying here is a user goes to Google AI Studio Lovable, or can now even go there and ask, I have a boutique, I have this kind of a business, I have a logistic company, and this is how I operate from stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, and this is how I handle my workflow, and this is what I want them to do. So this thing creates a prototype visually, and visually now, like when you look at it on a screen, it looks like it's working. So, but what do I advise is much as AI can help you to prototype what you want to see, like how an architect builds a house in 3D on your computer and brings it or prints it on a paper and brings to you. Do you like this building? This is what AI helped AI like IT people, that a client, a customer can prototype his app and brings to you how he wants it in a natural language. So that's good. But what I advise them is not to publish them automatically. Consult an IT person, and then once you consult him, he will need to look at the code. So the code behind that Kavisual app, the Kavisual website, the Kavisual whatever you're looking at. So once you bring it to him, he will not look at the interface. Yes, he will look at it, appreciate where you have reached, and then he needs to do a lot of work behind. So this is where I encourage you to always set up sync. So once you have done your app, once you have prototyped in Google AI Studio your native app in Kotlin or Flutter, because clients already do this, because I would say that you need to talk to him before you do this, but we have to acknowledge that people in the field, people in the country are already going to these apps and prototyping their business apps how they want them to look. So once you do that, you need to connect to GitHub or GitHub, which is this thing you see on the left. I have put two arrows so that it shows two-way thing. So after your app you have coded, I have prototyped it with your language. I wanted this app that does this. My workflow is like this. I am on this. I'm currently working like this. I want to improve here and here and here, and I want to connect this, and I want it to help this. All of this, I can help you to create something that is beautiful to you. So but behind you are not seeing how it is doing it. That's where an IT people, IT engineers, IT whichever the technician, you need his advice now, you need his hands on. So you connect your app to GitHub or GitLab or any Git version, whatever software you use. Then he will sync it, or he can use GitHub online, or he can sync it to his computer using Casa or this VS Code. This down to the blue one, like Infinity is an app that we use for development and seeing the codes how they run behind. So that he can connect to GitHub, I mean to Casa or VS Code, and help you to do a lot of security things, your databases, looking at the connectors and looking at the way stateless and stateful, like the way they are handled, everything behind your app which you cannot do as a user. So this is where the collaboration comes in. So once he does that, he pushes back to Git, and then for you in your Gmail, which you're using for Google AI Studio, then you can see because the changes he makes automatically they get synced, or he can push them, and then you connect to it. You can even modify the way it looks again using your natural language, the sentences you do. So once you do that, once you have collaborated with him, he has settled all the things in the background, and in front you're also feeling this is what I want, then we can move to another step. So usually the platform you use, they have like clause where they can say you can connect to a domain or host or something. But as an app, because you have a business that you intend to run for 10 years, 15 years, I wouldn't encourage you to buy those Plop subscription. Get it from me because of many reasons I'm going to talk about, but the video is short, so I'm going to use short things. Like I'm going to explain the top two. Subscription can range between $20 per month, which is actually 80,000 Uganda shillings per month, basically. So, but when you multiply by 12 months, that around 900,000 shillings. That's only connecting you. And then remember, there is not any other thing you can do with that. But if you involve this IT person, should help you to find a way to deploy this to any other platform that is custom. It can be a hosting provider like AOS, Google Cloud, Bluehost, Azure, IBM, Hawaii, Alibaba, Allium, or many other hosting or Nextage, whichever you choose. But for him, that's where his technical really helps you now, because that 900,000, you haven't put a lot of stuff. It's just the front part you're seeing, but paying it in where you built the app in Google AI Studio, in Lovable, in Word, and then you keep paying that monthly something. I'm not saying it's bad to pay because they are building this system is, but I'm giving you there is a lot of things you're going to do with the business which IT people will need to help you at, and that's why you will need your own hosting where your system resides. In that, in case even these Lavables, Square Studio, Replit, and Who, Vercel, and Wix, in case they change whatever they are stuck, they are handling, because they continually develop, it does not affect your current app. Secondly, if you fail to pay the other subscription, or they try to modify the data, or they want to sell it, they want to sell your ad, whichever, you will have migrated your code to something that you can control. The whole thing is, after I have built this and it's this, because they may decide that you must use like Flutter, I mean like Firebase as a DB engine, but for you, because of how because Firebase usually has issues to, they want you to go to Google Cloud, and which is an additional cost. They may even limit your disk. They may even limit your bandwidth. They may even add extra things that are behind that you don't see on top. So you may choose to go to like an open source like which, like maybe Supabase, or any other custom database like MySQL, whichever it is, or like .NET environment, or SQL Server for Windows. So all those things you cannot do them when you're still residing on that platform where you built your app. So when you sync your code to GitHub, and then the IT person can choose the provider that is efficient for you, and even the models, as they change them, you may decide to use, because normal, like Google may decide to say now you pay 20, but the next time you're going to pay 40, which you don't have. And when you don't have, they will disconnect your custom domain, they will disconnect anything that you are doing. So you need to get that hold of your security, your code, and your ability to modify and switch to whichever database, whichever platform that you may need. And this is where non-technical people you get caught. So he puts you to any provider like this. He can add your emails, the custom emails at yourcompany.com. He can add any security, he can change the database, he can add additional security, he can add two-step authentication, like a lot of things he can add. So at the end of the day, you remain with control. So I am happy that people, you can architect or you can design your apps, which is very efficient and good with AI of today. But still, I would need you to like after the visual, to bring an IT person behind to make sure that he can help you on a lot of stuff in the back end that you don't know about. And then even on after you have done that, then you can connect it on your own server or a hosting environment that you have control over, and this can help you to do as your business grow, as anything that continues to do. So basically what many people are doing is, when the app is done, then he pushes publish button, and he doesn't care about the rest, and it's awkward, in that you, for example, if it was an app for selling your clothes as a boutique business, or something small like selling shoes or selling your grocery, whichever, as you drop a lot of stuff, a lot of items, as you drop them to the database, sometimes you'll reach an extent where you need to add videos and so on, and then you are capped at maybe 1 GB. So once you're capped, where will you add other images? Where will you add other products? Where will you the emails? Sometimes they restrict you to, actually many platforms don't allow sending emails from your custom emails, like from your custom company mails. So how are you going to handle that? So sometimes there is some even restricted DNS, like custom DNS entries. So that's a lot of stuff that IT people will advise you on, and it's why you need them a lot. So people who think that AI is replacing this thing, no, they are not, but they are helping you to visually represent what you want from your business, from your company, to the IT people, to the developers. And then the developers should be able to take how from where you have reached from prototyping to continue developing stuff. So these are the two lastly which I say Lovable is the best for now. And when you want an app, Google AI Studio, it's bringing even the AI Studio to the online. But the normal user, you may not know about this, but with your Google email, Gmail, you can do a lot of stuff with it. Then after you sync it to GitHub, and then the GitHub, you tell your IT person or your admin or whichever person that you trust in IT field to sync the code that you post to GitHub to move it down to his VS Code or Casa. Then he can make a lot of changes that are crucial. Look at the way the mess is, because AI does a lot of mess in the background, and it helps even in the maintenance. And then once all that is done, then he can even help you publish to your custom environment here, which he may choose from any of the platform he may choose for you, or he may advise you. And then we go like the production goes in front, and you retain the other side for making changes. And once you make changes, you tell him that I made this, I would like to change here and here. Then once you sync with Git, he syncs with VS Code to check whether there is a mess that AI created. He corrects the mess, and then you can push back to the deployment line using Git pull and Git build or something, whichever. And basically, that's what web apps are all about. For that other things like a system that uses .NET and so on, AI has not yet reached that extent, and it's still within hands of IT people. So if you need a system down on your computer that it is installable on your Windows and so on, for sure these AIs haven't reached that extent of building really a system up in the on the computer. They haven't reached. They can play in web apps and so on, but the system for .NET and running it to prototyping it to the exact like production beta versions, it hasn't reached that grade, and that's why you cannot develop .NET app on obvious environment on what even the Microsoft SQL is not yet online with these apps. So they are still playing with TypeScript and JavaScript or anything that contains like app or something, a web or Java's, whichever, Python and so on. Those ones AI is really doing like 80%, but when it comes to system down, then they have not yet reached that level. But we shall progress as we go on. And for the purpose of this video, yeah, prototype, involve your IT, then he will advise on the next steps.